Have you ever found yourself stuck in conversations that seem to have only negative energy, or felt drained every time you leave someone? Have you ever wondered why certain people in your life leave you feeling lost, unmotivated, and even doubtful of yourself? Morgan is here, and today we're going to explore a very practical and necessary topic. 7 types of people the Stoics warn us to avoid. Did you know that the people around us not only affect our emotions, but can also shape our future and the path we take? If you've ever felt burdened by someone, it might be time to reconsider that relationship. Together with Morgan, we'll explore why the Stoics, one of the oldest and most profound schools of philosophy, advise us to avoid certain types of people. Do you want to find out who they are and why? The answers will not only help you understand yourself better, but also help you identify and avoid relationships that can be harmful, thereby improving the quality of your life. Do you want to know how to maintain your self-worth and not let negative people drag you down? If so, join Morgan on this journey of discovery. Let's embark on this journey not only to identify those who can undermine you, but also to learn how to overcome the challenges they may bring. Morgan believes that after watching this video, you will be more empowered to maintain your self-worth and move towards a more fulfilling life. Before we begin, Morgan has a small request for you. Please like, subscribe to become a part of our wonderful community, and leave a comment below with the content "I face strong, overcome firmly." This will be our mantra, reinforcing our commitment to look at each point, to handle every situation with grace and resilience. Comment now, because this will not only help you, but also help YouTube realize that there are many people like you who need to hear this message. Join Morgan in discovering and changing your life today. Because we deserve a better life, let's take this journey together and move forward together. When it comes to life, there is one undeniable truth. The people around us play a huge role in how we perceive and react to the world. Have you ever noticed that there are people who, no matter when you meet them, always have something to complain about, something negative to say? They are like dark clouds, blocking out the light of beautiful moments. And that is the first type of person we need to stay away from. Let's explore with Morgan why these people can have such a strong influence on our mood and life, and how we can keep our souls free from that negativity. Number 1. The constant complainer. Did you know that even in ancient Greece, when the world was entering its glorious stages of development, there were people who carried a negative energy that spread like a disease? They are not invaders, not tyrannical kings, but simply people who carry complaints, whining, and dissatisfaction with everything around them. They are the people of whom the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "We should train ourselves not to be governed by external things, but to concentrate instead on the things we can control." Imagine you are having a wonderful day. The sun is shining, your mood is high, and nothing seems to dampen your joy. But then someone appears. They start to talk about negative things. From the weather is too hot, work is too tiring, to the trivial things in life that make them feel dissatisfied. Their complaints are like drops of rain falling down, dimming the light of a beautiful day, unconsciously dragging your mood down. That is the negative power of the constant complainer. Stoic philosophy teaches us that in order to live a happy and peaceful life, we must learn to control our reactions to what happens around us. Morgan wants you to understand that constant complaining is not just harmless talk. It can actually be damaging to your soul and drain your energy. People like the constant complainer tend to draw you into their negative spiral, often without you even realizing it. Let Morgan ponder this. If we constantly interact with people who only know how to complain, we will gradually lose the ability to recognize and appreciate the positive things in life. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, we cannot change what happens around us, but we can choose how we react to it. Choose to respond with patience and calmness, and do not let negative energy disturb your soul. Morgan advises you to learn to protect your soul by avoiding them instead of letting them get to you. If you can't avoid them, learn to listen without letting their emotions control you. Remember, life has enough challenges, and we don't need to add unnecessary negativity to them. Morgan wants to know, is there someone in your life who is a constant complainer? Have you ever felt your energy drained when interacting with them? Share how you have or will deal with these people. Morgan believes that sharing will not only help you, but will help many others realize that they are not alone in this journey. Once you have identified and avoided the constant complainer, you may feel like you have escaped a source of negative energy. But don't worry, there is another type of person who can cause just as much mental chaos. These are people who are always looking to create unnecessary drama in your life. Not only do they bring confusing stories, but they also drag you into emotional chaos, leaving you disoriented and drained of energy. Morgan will help you discover how to identify and protect yourself from the emotional storms they create. Number 2. The drama magnet. Have you noticed that while you try to maintain peace and tranquility, there are people who seem to be constantly caught up in emotional storms? They live in a world where everything is complicated and dramatic. Their days are a never-ending series of events, complicated relationships, and endless confrontations. This is the type of person we call the drama magnet. Someone who attracts and creates unnecessary tension, upsetting the balance we have worked so hard to build. Stoic philosophy teaches that life is not about avoiding difficulties, but learning to face them calmly and wisely. Morgan believes that this becomes even more important when we encounter people who turn everything around them into a mess. They not only seek attention through dramatic stories, but also drag those around them into their turmoil. Imagine a simple situation, a peaceful and relaxing day that you have been looking forward to for a long time. But then the drama magnet appears. They do not come to share joy or peace, but to create dramatic stories, from personal conflicts to trivial matters that are blown up into serious problems. Not only do such people destroy your peace of mind, they also draw you into unnecessary troubles, leaving you exhausted and drained. Morgan wants to remind you that, according to Stoic philosophy, we need to know how to maintain a calm mind, especially when dealing with people who bring drama into our lives. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "We should not be drawn into that which is not ours." And this is truer than ever when we are dealing with the drama magnet. So how do we protect ourselves from these people? Morgan advises you to learn to maintain your emotional boundaries. Don't let their dramatic stories drag you into a spiral of negativity. Remember, you don't have to participate in every conflict they create. Choose to approach with calm and wisdom, to keep your mind at peace and not affected by the chaos outside. Morgan is curious to know if you have encountered someone like the drama magnet in your life. How do you avoid getting caught up in the drama they create? Morgan believes that sharing will not only help you, but also inspire others on their journey to find inner peace. If you've weathered the emotional storms of the drama magnet, you'll feel like you've found some peace. But there's another, more subtle type of person who can silently drain your energy without you even realizing it. These are the people who see themselves as victims of every circumstance. They don't create overt drama, but instead quietly blame fate and circumstances, shaking your empathy and compassion. Join Morgan in discovering how to identify and protect yourself from this type of person to maintain your inner peace. Number 3. The perpetual victim. Remember Eeyore from the animated film Winnie the Pooh? Eeyore, the little donkey, always sees everything as gloomy, even though the world around him is colorful and joyful. Morgan believes that we have all encountered an Eeyore in real life, someone who sees himself as a victim of circumstances, never seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. This is the type of person that Stoic philosophy warns us to be careful when dealing with. Stoic philosophy teaches us that our first and most important responsibility in life is to ourselves. We cannot control everything that happens around us, but we can control how we react and behave when faced with those challenges. But the perpetual victim are people who choose to deny that responsibility. They always feel that life is unfair to them, and that things are not bad because they do not try, but because the world has turned its back on them. Morgan understands that in life, everyone has moments of weakness when they encounter difficulties, failures, or losses. But the difference with the perpetual victim is that they do not just experience difficulties. They cling to them as an inseparable part of themselves. They don't try to get up and move on, but instead wallow in sadness and disappointment, seeking sympathy from others without ever thinking about getting out themselves. Ask yourself, have you ever had someone in your life who constantly feels like a victim? These people can create a strong pull on our compassion, but their negativity can also drain our mental energy. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "He who does not take control of his life is always a victim." This reminds us that instead of letting others drag us into their negative spiral, we need to learn to protect our own souls and mental strength. Morgan wants to encourage you to remember that, in this life, helping others is a good thing, but we cannot help someone if they do not want to help themselves. The perpetual victim needs to learn to take responsibility for their own lives, otherwise they will continue to sink deeper into despair, dragging down those around them. Instead of getting caught up in that negative cycle, focus on self-improvement and finding inner peace. Have you ever met someone like the perpetual victim? What have you done to help them or to protect yourself from their negativity? Once you have identified and understood how the perpetual victim can weaken our spirit, you may think that you are safe from the negativity in life. But be careful, because there is another type of person who is more subtle. They not only tire you out, but also silently control and manipulate your emotions. These are people who know how to use every trick to control and shape your thoughts as they want. Join Morgan to discover how to identify and deal with these sophisticated tricks to protect your freedom and peace of mind. Number 4. The manipulative mind. Have you ever heard the story of Julius Caesar and Brutus? Caesar, one of the greatest leaders of Rome, did not expect that his closest friend, Brutus, was the one who secretly manipulated and betrayed him. Manipulation is not always obvious. Sometimes it is hidden behind sweet words and seemingly harmless actions. The type of person we are talking about is someone who knows how to subtly manipulate your mind, making you lose the ability to perceive the truth. Stoic philosophy always encourages us to practice wisdom and perseverance so as not to be swept away by negative influences from the outside. The manipulative mind is a great challenge that we need to face calmly and wisely. These people do not use physical strength or threats, but instead they use sweet words, fake sympathy and psychological tricks to manipulate your emotions and thoughts. Morgan believes that in life, everyone can encounter a manipulative mind. It can be a friend, a colleague, or even a family member who uses emotions and relationships to control you the way they want. They make you doubt yourself, make you feel like you are not good enough, not knowledgeable enough. And ultimately, they control your life without you even knowing it. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "He who is master of himself is master of no one." This is especially true when we are dealing with the manipulative mind. Only when you have mastered your mind and understand your own worth can you recognize and resist their subtle words and actions. Morgan advises you to always be alert and never let your emotions overwhelm your reason when dealing with this type of person. Ask yourself, are their advice and actions truly for your benefit? Or are they trying to push you into a world where they have complete control? Don't let yourself become a puppet in someone's hands. Listen to your intuition and ask questions before accepting anything. Morgan is curious. Have you ever encountered someone like the manipulative mind? How did you recognize and escape their manipulation? When you discover the subtle machinations of the manipulative mind, you may feel relieved to be free from that mental control. But don't rest easy, because there is another type of person who can disappoint you and lose your trust in a way you never expected. They are people who always break promises and never keep their commitments, leaving you in awkward situations and shaking the trust in your relationship. Join Morgan to learn how to identify and deal with this type of person, so you don't have to wait in frustration and confusion. Number 5. The unreliable flake. Nearly 40% of personal relationships suffer serious problems because of broken promises and lack of trust. Morgan believes that we have all experienced the feeling of waiting for someone who never shows up, or relying on a promise only to be disappointed. This is the type of person we call the unreliable flake, the person who never keeps his promises, making you feel insecure and distrustful. Stoic philosophy teaches that to live happily and peacefully, we need to build a life based on solid principles, of which trust is an indispensable factor. Morgan understands that trust is not only the foundation of personal relationships, but also an important factor in maintaining consistency in life. But the unreliable flake are people who break this principle. They make you feel like you are walking on shaky ground, always worrying whether they will keep their promise or not. Try to remember a time when you put your trust in someone, waited for them to keep their promise, and then they broke it. That feeling of disappointment and loss is not only because they did not keep their promise, but also because your trust was betrayed. The unreliable flake may not realize or care about the consequences of their actions, but that doesn't mean you should continue to accept this lack of trust in your life. Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic philosopher and emperor, once said, "You may be deceived if you trust too much, but you will be tormented if you do not trust enough." This reminds us that trust should be well placed and not wasted on people who don't deserve it. Morgan wants you to think about how you are placing your trust. Sometimes it's easy to ignore the warning signs from the unreliable flake because of sentimentality or familiarity. But remember, trust is hard to recover, and relying on unreliable people is a waste of your precious energy and time. Protect yourself by learning to recognize and set boundaries for these relationships. Instead of letting yourself get sucked into a spiral of disappointment, focus on the people who are worthy of your trust. Have you ever met someone like the unreliable flake? What did you do when you realized you couldn't trust them anymore? By identifying and protecting yourself from the unreliable flake, you may feel like you have eliminated the elements that are disrupting your life. But beware, because there is another type of person who is even more dangerous. They not only bring you down, but also silently destroy what you have worked so hard to build, driven by jealousy. Join Morgan to explore how to identify and overcome these jealous people, so that you can continue to move forward with peace of mind and confidence. Number 6. The envy-driven saboteur. Have you ever encountered people who seem unable to accept the success of others? While we are happy for the success of our friends and loved ones, there are those who feel uncomfortable and jealous when they see others progress. Morgan wants you to imagine a friend or colleague who always appears to support you, but secretly wishes you would fail. These are people who are driven by envy, and because of that, they are willing to harm you and what you have achieved. Stoic philosophy teaches us that life should be built on a foundation of inner peace and emotional balance. But the envy-driven saboteur is the opposite of this principle. They are disturbed by envy, and instead of using their energy to develop themselves, they choose to sabotage others to satisfy their envy. Morgan understands that we all have felt envy at some point in our lives, but the difference with the envy-driven saboteur is that they not only keep their envy inside, but also turn it into harmful actions. Their actions can be very subtle, from sarcastic comments, sly advice, to hindering your work or relationships. They want you to fail, not because you have done anything wrong, but simply because your success makes them feel inadequate. Seneca, one of the great Stoics, once said, "The wise man is not troubled by envy, for he knows that happiness lies not in comparing himself with others, but in achieving peace of mind." This reminds us that dealing with the envy-driven saboteur is not just about protecting your success, but also about maintaining peace of mind. Morgan wants to encourage you to stay true to your values and not let people like the envy-driven saboteur shake your confidence. Instead of letting yourself be drawn into their envy, focus on your own path. Don't let their negative words or actions discourage you. Remember, the success you achieve is the result of hard work and perseverance, and no one can take that away from you. Now that we have identified and overcome the envy-driven saboteur, those who are driven by jealousy to sabotage your success, we move on to the final challenge: perhaps nothing can distract you more than this type of person. They are obsessed with material things, always chasing money and fame, making it easy for you to get caught up in frivolous values and lose balance in life. Join Morgan to discover how to protect your soul from the temptation of material things and find true peace. Number 7. The materialistic chaser. Did you know that many drug traffickers, despite owning huge fortunes, still end up in poverty? They chase material things, power, but lose everything, including freedom and dignity. Morgan is here to remind you that the obsession with wealth and fame can lead people to make bad decisions, and those who only chase after material things are the last type of people that Stoic philosophy warns us to stay away from. Stoic philosophy always emphasizes the value of peace of mind, instead of being swept away by the temptations of the material world. The materialistic chaser is the complete opposite of this principle. They set their life goals on owning more, becoming richer, and even defining their self-worth by the amount of possessions they have. Morgan wants you to ponder this. Do money and wealth really bring happiness? Or are they just illusions that make you lose the values that are truly important in life? In life, we cannot deny the importance of money. However, when you let it become your only goal, you have allowed yourself to be controlled by external things, instead of mastering your life. Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic philosopher and emperor, once said, "He who is the richest is the one who is content with what he has." This quote reminds us that true happiness does not come from owning more, but from being content and content. Morgan understands that in today's society, chasing after flashy, material things is a huge temptation. The materialistic chaser can be friends, colleagues, or even relatives who are always urging you to earn more money, buy more things to affirm your self-worth. They can make you feel inadequate, not good enough without the things they consider important. But Morgan wants you to remember that your value is not in the things you own, but in the way you live, the way you love, and the way you treat yourself and others. Ask yourself, do you really need those things to be happy, or are you caught up in a spiral of endless competition? Don't let the materialistic chaser throw you off balance in your life. Focus on the core values that truly bring peace to your soul. Have you ever met someone like the materialistic chaser in your life? How do you avoid being drawn into the materialistic lifestyle they pursue? Morgan would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of you who have taken the time to explore and reflect with Morgan on the 7 types of people that Stoic philosophy advises us to avoid. Morgan knows that, in our journey through life, we are sometimes faced with challenges and difficult choices, and it is those decisions that shape our lives. Morgan hopes that what we have discussed today will help you gain more awareness, to recognize and protect yourself from those who can hurt your soul and hinder your happiness. Life is not only about what we own or who we meet, but also about how we maintain peace of mind and continue to move forward with determination. Morgan hopes that, from today's lessons, you will find the strength to maintain good values and stay away from negative factors. Morgan is grateful for your companionship throughout this journey. Please continue to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below, because Morgan believes that together we can build a strong community where everyone can learn, grow, and live happier. If you find this video useful, please help Morgan press the like button, comment 1 so that YouTube can rate this video as useful, Or you can share with your friends and subscribe to the Stoic Kingdom channel so you don't miss the next videos. In addition, you can follow other videos shown at the end of this video. Thank you again, and Morgan looks forward to seeing you again on the next journeys to continue to explore the meaningful things in life together. Always keep your mind peaceful and move forward steadfastly, my friend.